Today I am shipping out all of these parts to Chicago Corvettes to get restored. This is my original carburetor for the car, and she's locked up tight. I had it soaking in a rust bath and I couldn't get it to free up. So I'm just going to send it to them, and the shafts don't look terrible. They were really rusty before. That rust solution helped. So I bought another carburetor to use for parts, and if they can't use this body, then at least they can use this one. So or if not, maybe they'll just buy it off me if they don't need any parts. We'll see how it goes. So I want to get that guy restored so I can finish the fuel system. I'm going to rebuild the fuel pump this week, get that plumbed in, so then this will be the icing on the cake for that, and we can hook up the linkage. And then this is a passenger car wiper motor that I worked on a little bit. I'm gonna trade it in to them for some work on this guy. This one would clean up nice, but the wires are, I can't find the one, they're kind of marred up. I think the yellow one is. Yeah, right there you can see go through to the wire there. So it needs the wires replaced and gone through, and since the rest of the car is going to be pristine, may as well make this pristine. So I'm going to package these guys up, and when they come back, put them on this, because right now they're holding me up. I want to get the wiper motor in and hooked up, then I can drop the distributor in and put the cap on, and I'm going to put the plugs in so then I can put wires on and everything. So once I get this on, we'll be good there. That'll be that system done. Put the carburetor on, get the fuel system out of the way. So we'll be moving along pretty quick here once we get these back, and it said they'll take maybe like 3 to 4 weeks, so hopefully we'll get them back in a month and put them on. We'll be ready to go.
Many months later.
So I have great news. My windshield wiper motor is back from being rebuilt, and it looks really good. They replated everything. They blasted the housing. Got a nice washer pump. Everything looks really good, so it should work well. But the reason I sent it out was not for all that. I mainly wanted these wires fixed. I don't know if you can see that yellow one. It's probably the best one to see. There's copper wire showing right there. And they put shrink wrap on the black one, but I wanted all of those fixed. That's the whole reason why I had it rebuilt, and why I waited this long. So even though it looks really nice, and I got a washer pump, still not ready to go in. So I have some liquid tape, because I can't put a piece of heat shrink tube around here, because there's no way to get these wires off on either end without having to resolder a joint at the end. So I'm going to give this a try, and before I put it on, I'm going to clean it off with some electronic cleaner. So I'll use that, clean it off, and it said to put at the minimum 2 coats on, so I'll probably put 3 coats on. I'll clean it off real good, and it said to let it sit 10 minutes in between coats and to wait a long time, like 4 hours or a couple days, before you put power through it. But this thing's not going to power through it in a few months, so I think as soon as it dries enough to the touch, I can put it in. So let's give this stuff a try and get it on the car, so that way I can stop talking about it and actually start putting my heater in it and the distributor and everything else. So I finished putting on that liquid tape, and the stuff hardens up nice. It's still soft like the wire coating is, so it's flexible, it's not real brittle. So I think that'll do. What I want it to do. So I'm happy with that. So now it's time to put this in the car. I have my 4 screws, and I put some butyl rubber on there to seal that up. And also I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to jam these screws in here. They have a little lead in there, so I think with that butyl might help hold the screws back so I can put the motor in from the front. Then I'll do some finagling. So I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. So in this kit I bought for the hoses, it came with 4 hoses. The biggest, or the longest hose goes on the passenger side from the washer nozzle to the washer pump. I'd say the second shortest, not this little itty bitty guy, but the second shortest is for the driver's side. And there's a hose that's like 1.5 inches or 1 inch shorter than the longest hose, and that one goes from the washer pump to the washer bottle. I think this is the straw for the washer bottle. So now that we have those figured out, I'll put them on the bottom of the grills and then put these J-clips on the car and put them on. I have my wiper motor installed, and I have my rubber hoses for the washer pump that goes to the nozzles and to the bottle hooked up. And then I also put in the defrost vent, and that holds down the back of the speaker grill where I attach the wiper transmissions to the motor. Alright, so tonight we had quite a bit of progress. So we got the wiper motor installed, and it looks good back here. There's a little bit of a pain to get to some of these bolts on the back, so I just stuck them through, and I used a pin. Once I got one started, I used a pin to get the other 3 attached. I have my hoses run over there. Now all I need is radiator and expansion tank, which goes in here, way down in here. Then the hoses, I have some heater hoses, I just need to get the radiator hoses. I have fan clutch and fan, I have a shroud done, so all that stuff is waiting. I'll have to do belts. But other than that, that's the cooling system right there. Just waiting on a radiator. Once that's in, just drop that in with the mounts and bolt kit, and that's done. I have the distributor that's rebuilt. I need to get a rotor and a cap for it, and the plug wires, and then I have the brackets primed. They just need painted. Get the grommets, and then I can run my wires. And the ignition system's done. I need to get my starter rebuilt, and then once that's in, that's that system. So, I mean, really, if I was in a real crunch, I mean, this could be done like that. I have a gauge cluster that's restored. I want to get a gauge cluster in it before it's fired up. But I bought that one to flip, so I don't know if I'm going to use that one or not. We're getting close, so who knows, maybe hopefully before 2019, we have some noise coming out of this thing. So it's exciting times. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. We have a lot more coming on the channel, a lot more other Corvettes coming, and we have some big days coming whenever this car fires up. So I have a lot of work to do, as you can see, so I'm going to get going. I'll catch you in the next one.